Wilkister in the Maasai Mara. She's live for us from there. Wilkister, do explain to us this turn of events where we understand the wildebeest phenomenon is happening earlier than usual. What can you tell us about that?
Well, thank you, Beatrice. Well, the wildebeest migration is linked to the rainfall patterns. The reason why the wildebeest move from the Serengeti is essentially in search of green pasture. And this year, there was an extended dry period in the Serengeti that drove the wildebeest to leave the Serengeti earlier than they usually do to come and find green pasture on the side of the Mara. That is the Kenyan side. And therefore, it was not a long period because shortly after they moved, the rain started in the Serengeti and they did move back. So you would say it was a bit of a false alarm because those who had assembled waiting for the wildebeest migration to continue are a little disappointed because they did cross over back to the other side. However, they are expected to come back because the rainfall is expected to clear within around 2 or 3 weeks, at which point the wildebeest migration will begin at around the same time it usually does every year. So we would say that the earlier migration was a bit of an anomaly, Beatrice.
Well, Kista, it was still rather interesting, though, despite it being an anomaly. But the migration is a world-famous event each year. How would you describe the attraction and the visitor numbers to the Maasai Mara this year?
Well, I would say it is awe-inspiring, and those we spoke to, some of them were tourists who have been here for 4 or 5 different migration seasons, and every time they see it, it is awe-inspiring, it is new, it never fails to be exciting. This year, we have seen a number of tourists already starting to come down pretty early because of the news that the migration had started earlier. From some of the hoteliers and some of the tour operators and tour guides who were able to speak to, we understand that upwards of 40,000 foreign visitors are expected every year during the wildebeest migration season. This year, perhaps because it started early, the numbers might be a bit higher, we are not quite sure. And then we will also remember that this was the year when the Madaraka Day celebrations were held in Narok County, where the Maasai Mara is, and the park was open to the public at no fee at all. We do understand that about 1,000 or so guests were able to take advantage of that offer and come in. So we do expect that probably by the time the season will be over, the number of visitors who will have visited the Mara this year might be higher than other years, or a pretty good number, because already this weekend we did see the numbers very, very high. Beatrice.
Wilkister Nyabwa joining us there from the Maasai Mara. Lucky her witnessing the phenomenon of the wildebeest migration.